I seem to have let a few people down, maybe with my last video on the burnout in IT. Maybe I came across a little bit too strong in maybe my attitude, maybe the way I was coming across in general. Maybe I was just generally frustrated at the time that I made that video. Who knows? The truth in the matter is, sometimes working in IT is extremely frustrating. And of course, I said it in the previous video, burnout happens. It happens to the best of us. It can happen often to people, and sometimes it doesn't happen at all. But what will always happen, what you will always run across, and something that is completely unavoidable, just like any other job that you can work in this entire world, is frustration. You will always come across frustration. No matter where you work, what you're doing, and no matter how much you love your job and how much you love the people that you work with, you are bound to be frustrated at some point. And I come across frustration almost on a daily basis, I want to say. And that's just part of the job most of the time. There's frustrations in IT, and sometimes that's working with the end user, sometimes that's working with a specific system or an application, and you have to find ways to deal with that frustration. So this video will primarily talk about how to deal with that frustration. Hey everybody, this is Zach with IT Career Questions, and today I want to help you guys deal with that frustration. I have a very difficult time dealing with frustration. It is one of my biggest probably flaws, is trying to deal with how frustrated I get, because it's hard for me to actually contain my frustration sometimes. And there's plenty of people out there that are the same way. You don't know how to actually deal with that frustration. And I'm going to say frustration a lot, so if you're going to leave a comment about how much I say frustration, go for it. Anyway, sometimes I let my frustration get the best of me, and it might come across to an end user or maybe management or whoever, and that's not always the best thing. That's not always the best way to deal with that specific word. So the best ways to deal with that is to take a step back. And you know that is the most difficult thing in the world to do when you're sitting there right in that very specific moment and you are just pissed, right? You are just furious because you have somebody on the phone and they are just completely not understanding you, not getting it, and just giving you a completely hard time about whatever the issue may be. And you are just like furious, right? So you're frustrated, right? So all you can really do, and this is what I do sometimes, I put them on hold. I say, give me a minute, I need to look into something. I'm not looking into anything. I am literally putting them on hold, and I am just taking a breather. I might go get a drink. I might go to the bathroom real quick. I am literally putting them on hold for a couple minutes just to diffuse the situation in general for myself and for them, and then I come back at it a couple minutes later, maybe sometimes, maybe it's 30 seconds, I feel like, okay, I can handle this. Sometimes that's all it takes, 30 seconds, maybe a couple minutes, and you come back at it, and then you can actually tackle it, because you've actually taken just a few seconds or a few minutes to clear your head just of what was going on in those brief moments where you were so completely pissed off with what was going on that you were able to actually move past what that issue was and resolve it, because in your heat of rage you couldn't think past what that specific issue was until you cleared your head for that few seconds, right? This happens very frequently. I promise you. That's one of the things dealing with IT and dealing with end users that you will run across very frequently. Is again, here comes that word. There's lots of frustration there, and that's going to come across on your end, and that's going to come across on that end user's end. But the most important thing that you always have to remember is that customer service is very, very important. If you're in a help desk role, That is pretty much what you are there for. If you are in any type of tech position, that's what you're there for. If you are answering the phone and servicing somebody in any way. I don't care if you are a network administrator or a system administrator. If you are troubleshooting an issue with some type of user, you are doing some type of customer service. I don't care if you are an administrator, that is customer service, and you still need to maintain that level of customer service no matter what. That is just part of the job. You may not want to consider it customer service, or may not want to put yourself on that level because you've made yourself that administrator, right? But you guys always have to maintain that level that you guys are there to help people. That is what IT is about. IT in general is there to help. You are there to maintain systems. You are there to maintain that your environment is always working, and that always entails lots and lots of issues and lots of frustrated people. So, my last week's video, I was definitely very frustrated with my job at that time, and not that I was feeling any type of burnout, because I'm not. I'm definitely not burnt out. I see it all the time. I definitely see tons of burnout. Maybe not all the time. I see it happen. It does happen. I'm not burnt out by it. I'm frustrated. I find ways to get over it. When I come home from work, I do things like this. I do these YouTube videos. I do my 3D printing. I do photography. I have family. I try not to let my work get the best of me at home. And that's one thing that you guys are going to have to learn to do as well, because I see all the time. And I'm not going to lie, sometimes it does happen to me where I bring my issues at work at home because I am just so pissed with what's going on. So it's going to happen, but you guys just have to find ways to deal with those specific things. So whether you guys take a step away, whether you guys find a hobby at home, dealing with difficult things is going to be a key factor in working in IT, because that's a hard thing to do. That's one thing that you're not going to learn in school. That's one thing that they're not going to teach you in school. Nobody is ever going to teach you how to deal with difficult people in school. Nobody's going to give you these tips and tricks on how to deal with all of these types of issues and problems with end users and things like that. So in the upcoming videos here pretty soon, hopefully in the next few months here, as I get more time, I will basically start putting out a few videos, maybe I'm hoping once a month or so, on how to deal with difficult end users, difficult situations, just so you guys understand and learn how to deal with that stuff in IT and maybe in any other job, just so you guys know what to expect when you guys get out there into the real world, if you guys aren't out there already. So I hope this video kind of made sense. I felt really bad because there's a few people who messaged me privately and said, you seemed really upset and burned out. I hope you're okay. So I just wanted to kind of follow up, make a little video, and touch base. So hope this all makes sense. If it doesn't, leave me a comment, hit me up in a private message, hit me up on Facebook, email, whatever works for you. As always, greatly appreciate you guys, of course, reaching out to me, making sure that I'm okay. That's awesome. You guys are the best. So thank you so much. And as always, take it easy. I will. Will you?